again. Welcome back. So today I'm talking about the 6 mistakes unhappy couples make. And I'm actually reading some of this from my article to make sure I don't miss any little piece. I used to call these the 6 behaviours, and then over the years I realised they are mistakes because we learn from our mistakes. And that's the idea of these podcasts, is that we're learning. And that any mistakes that we're making, hopefully, we learn from. And the overall mistake here is that the 6 mistakes alienate and isolate one partner from the other. That's the whole message here. And who wants that to happen to their relationship? Of course they don't. Who wants to coexist like that? I don't think anybody does. So mistake number 1 goes to react and respond, which is, the mistake is to react instead of responding. I've covered that on another podcast. A reaction could be a simple eye roll, a shoulder shrug, or it could be a hostile arc-up. And when we have a hostile arc-up with nasty words, or even a silent walk away, you might be thinking, well, doesn't everyone have that? Everyone does that? What's wrong with that? Could be what you're thinking. What's wrong is that reacting is usually a knee-jerk. It's emotionally charged with zero focus, on any particular outcome, which is keeping the relationship in close harmony. So one of you usually feels unjustly treated, and it causes a divide between you, a disconnection. So instead of reacting, as I've said on other podcasts, a better option is to respond, which is where you're focused on the outcome you want. And that means remaining calm and taking your time to respectfully and or considerately suggest looking at the situation a different way. So your desired outcome might be to find a compromise or some cooperation together. Or make sure your partner doesn't feel silly or stupid for thinking the way he or she does. The key to responding is remaining calm and taking time to put your words together. Hence, your emotionality in the heat of the moment is under control, and you take total charge of yourself and look beyond yourself at the bigger picture of the two of you. So to mistake number 2, listening to reply. Now, when I address this one during a couples session, usually one or both partners are a little bit baffled. They don't really get it, and they take a bit to go, how else can I reply if I don't listen? Well, that's true. The problem is when you are forming your reply in your head almost at the outset. That's right, of what your partner is saying to you. You are not truly listening to what he or she is saying. Frequently, you get the gist of what your partner is saying after just a word or two, and you'll interrupt, cut him or her off, jump in with your opinion and decision and so on. And that's what I mean by listening to reply. Not truly listening to your partner's words. Not letting him or her finish the sentence, which translates as not giving your partner your full attention. Or even registering what he or she is wanting you to hear and is feeling, which could be at the heart of it, couldn't it? So then we go, mistake number 3 is to self-justify. This one is a wowzer because it's often masked as explaining why you feel how you feel, or why you think what you think, when it isn't genuinely explaining and putting a reason to it. In reality, it's saying, I know better. Okay? I am right and you are wrong. An example of self-justification is, well, I've always done that way. I've done it that way. The washing or the whatever. Fill the dishwasher. I've always done the washing that way. See, I'm repeating it because it's how I learned as I grew up. It served me just fine. Self-justifying blocks the other person's input because it leaves his or her partner with nowhere to go with a reply. Any reply either partner makes, any reply adds fuel to the fire. That's what happens. Hence, the only option left is to be quiet and walk away. And that deepens the great divide. That worsens the disconnect. So to mistake number 4, which is to be intolerant. We all have a fairly good idea of what intolerance is. It can come across in several ways. It can be uncompromising, unforgiving, dogmatic, or blinkered. How it shows up in a relationship or marriage is what's crucial to weakening the couple's bond, and typically shows up as a disguised form of control. That's not easy to hear, is it? If a partner is dogmatic, insisting on his or her beliefs be followed and allowed and accepted, then there isn't room for cooperation and compromise, and forgiveness doesn't get a look in. Without compromise and cooperation, forgiveness is off the table. Closeness and intimacy cannot exist. So it breaks it down fully. Now, mistake number 5, to be stubborn. We all know stubborn people, and stubborn behaviours are not the most acceptable thing, because they're usually obstinate or headstrong, contrary or strong-willed. And it's not difficult to see how any one of these can deeply impact a couple's chances of an enduring relationship. Tolerance can't cope with it. And that's because one partner's determination, to have their own way ends up calling all the shots and stifling the other partner. This is certainly not a form of control in disguise. This is an overt form of control. Being stubborn is not a universally attractive quality, yet stubborn people are often proud of that character trait, even if it's off-putting to others. And hence they're unwilling to modify or adapt. They seem to think they'll lose their individuality. So mistake number 6 is to be unreasonable. I put this one last because it does stand alone, even though each of the other 5 mistakes fall into the category of unreasonableness to a degree. I personally like this description of unreasonable: beyond the limits of acceptability or fairness. I'll repeat, it's beyond the limits of acceptability or fairness. I talk about fairness and unfairness a lot, and in several other areas of my online coaching and all my coaching videos, because it's such a hot topic. It boils down to the simplicity of, if one partner loses out most of the time, then unfairness is often present. And where one partner refuses to consider or accommodate the other partner's wishes, views, their ideas, with virtually no sense of concern about how the other partner feels, then unreasonableness is usually the root cause, that's in my opinion, of so much unhappiness and isolation. There's a limit to how much unfairness a relationship can withstand before large cracks of self-protection appear. So now, to summarise, these 6 mistakes create significant unhappiness, and in particular they cause one partner to become alienated from the other. Now, this is really important. Any 2 of these mistakes out of the overall 6 are sufficient to bring a relationship, a marriage, to breaking point. Any 2, okay? So if you'd like to explore more, there's a video at the bottom here that you can have a look at. And there's a lot on my website. That link is at the bottom here too, that you can go to see what you can do to improve this, to overcome it, to align together and absolutely eliminate, get rid of the 6 mistakes, or most of them anyway. Dee Tozer, thanks for watching.